All right, we have left Panama City. We've gone through several military checkpoints already, but they're just so far, they're just flagging us through and said, you're good to go. We're going to a really special place. It's one of the most infamous places that you can go in North America. This is where people are smuggled through, drugs are smuggled through, all kinds of crazy stuff happens down here. And we've been told that it's safe to go down here. As a tourist, this is gonna feel more third world than a lot of the places we've been. We're also seeing native people here, then in very different native dress, and they live in little thatched roof houses. We're on a really awful road right now. It is paved, but it is full of very deep potholes. It's super bumpy, and it's just a maze going around all the potholes, going on and off the side of the road, trying to get through. But we are going to the very end of the Pan American Highway. So let's do it. Let's go into the Darien Gap. Down here, it feels very different than the rest of Panama. All right, we've made it to the gateway to the Darien Gap.
Right there.
Holy cow, did you record that? There was just a lightning strike literally right on the side of the road next to the van as we were driving through. I saw fire, and then I heard a pop, and then I heard the lightning, all within about a millisecond of each other. All right, what a day of driving. We've pulled over here at a strip mall of sorts. We are in a place with hardware stores, there's a chainsaw shop, there looks like a grocery store, all kinds of stuff. It is Sunday, and so most of them are closed. So sometimes it's better just to find a place to sleep, pull over, get settled in before it gets completely dark. And in this case, it's raining buckets. I think this is gonna be a good place for us to spend the night. So we're gonna crash here tonight, and tomorrow we're headed to the end of the road. All right, we have made it to the end of the road. This is the gateway to the Darien. It's pretty wild down here. It's way different than we thought. We thought this would be a small village, but there's tons of shops, tons of people doing stuff. It is awesome down here. It's really pretty, and we're just really enjoying being down here. Here we are, we've made it to Yaviza. This is 12,580 kilometers from Alaska, where we've come from. Feels pretty good just to be here though. Feels like a big accomplishment. We have crossed our home continent the longest way possible, I think, from on road, and feels cool to be here. This feels really special. And this is a place that I don't think a lot of visitors come to. We have yet to see another gringo down here or a car with non-Panama plates, but we're glad to be here and this is fun. Let's go check out the rest of town. So there's a bridge, and this bridge is the gateway to the Darien, and especially if you're going on foot, a lot of people take boats. We've seen videos, we've seen pictures of this bridge, and it feels pretty cool to be here in person. So here it is, let's check it out. Salud. Buena. Buena. We are on the bridge. This bridge is the footpath to the Darien Gap.
I gotta say, the bridge is a little sketchy. It's a little wobbly. It's a little bit scary walking across the bridge.
If you wanted to go further into the gap, this is how you would do it.
It feels like an amazing accomplishment and we are super excited to be here. But really, this is just our midway point and the most complicated logistics are yet to come.
Buena. Well, it was great exploring Yaviza. We're back in the van now. We are headed actually north for a little bit. It's been really interesting getting to do this tour all the way from Alaska through the states that we're so familiar with, down into Baja, mainland Mexico, then into Guatemala and the rest of Central America. It's been quite the tour. We've seen a lot, we've learned a lot, and we have a really new perspective on these places that we've never been to before. Isn't that the best reason to travel? Is to see what the world is really like, get out here and experience it for yourself. I feel really grateful that we've had this opportunity to come down here. Now we're headed back towards Panama City and over to Cologne, where we're gonna put our Revel van on a ship for Colombia.
So we just passed a little van that was full of what looked like lunch supplies, boxed lunches and styrofoam containers that is coming down to this aid station on the river. They were filming us. They had their cameras out waving.
Taxi.
Yeah, it's packed full of people. It's pretty interesting back here.
Does it feel sketchy?
I
Can't tell yet?
mean, I haven't seen anything sketchy. It seems like they're just people doing their jobs, you know? Oh my gosh, there's a huge parade of buses down here waiting to pick up people. Oh my gosh, there's a huge camp down here.
How far are we driving?
Wow, this is a big thing. Okay, so we've just come around the corner and there are a lot of buses waiting to pick people up that have just crossed the Darien Gap. We saw buses like this driving along the highway yesterday, just bus after bus after bus, but we didn't realize that it was from people immigrating north. Look at this. Wow, one after the other after the other. It's amazing. So we got to the end of the road where the buses are. Hola, buenas.
Está bonito ese carro, yo.
Gracias.
So we just went to the end of a dirt road that I had a hunch was going to lead us to something interesting going on with the immigrants coming across. Now, these immigrants are coming across the Darien Gap from Colombia. From what I understand, and I think there's a lot of ways to do this, but this is one way I understand it, they take a ferry from Colombia to another village that is still in Colombia, but you can only get there by this ferry boat. And then from there, they're having to walk across the border of Panama through the Darien Gap. And at that point, they go on this massive 10-day trip through the jungle, crossing rivers. It sounds horrendous. There's people back there who are taking advantage of them, but we're hearing that it's pretty awful and that it's quite a journey. Now then, once they make it through the Darien Gap, their first exit point is at this village that is right on a river. And the rivers are the main arteries for transportation through the Darien Gap. So people have dugout canoes and various boats that have motors on them, and they can travel along the riverways. Well, they use this river to get them closer to the Pan American Highway, and it's about maybe 5 miles from the Pan American Highway on a pretty nice dirt road. And at that point, there is a UNICEF station there offering aid and assistance. And what we're finding is that there are buses that are picking these people up and then taking them on to points unknown north. But they're getting on massive buses, like 45, 50-foot buses, and going north. And this is just a part of their journey on to probably what is going to be to America eventually. We're here, we took the opportunity to go down this road and learn and get a little perspective. I don't know, I'm not really taking a position on this. I'm just reporting back to you what I'm seeing, what my experience has been. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. We haven't had any first-person encounters with any of them yet. We drove down to where the little makeshift village is, where all of the immigrants are coming out of the water, out of the river. And it was pretty hectic with buses and taxis and lots going on, and we didn't really want to get in the middle of all that. So we stopped a little shy of that. I'm seeing lots of people sleeping in tents, but they're under other roofs or awning. But they're laid out in a grid pattern. It looked like there was lots of people standing in line. I assume that's for food and water. I think they also have medical treatment down there for people who are injured. It just seemed like a big camp where a lot of people were getting taken care of and maybe waiting their turn to basically get on a bus and get out of there. But there's also a lot of an economy going on. A lot of the local people are taking bananas, oranges, looks like sack lunches, the backs of pickup trucks and vans. I don't know, you know, like I said, I don't know exactly what's going on. All I'm doing is reporting back to you what I saw. It's pretty interesting, but there's a lot going on here. And there are a lot of people coming over from Colombia and have made it into Panama. And Panama, I think, is trying to deal with it as best they can. And I think this is like in the US, it's putting a strain on our border. It's doing the same thing here. And it seems like at all the countries between here and the US, you know, everyone is feeling the impacts of this influx of people and people who need support. But this is an interesting time to be traveling in Central America, and we're learning things. Now we're back to the main road, back to the Pan American Highway, and we're going to continue our journey. But maybe we'll get an opportunity to talk to some of these people. That would be really interesting.
Well, today is a first for Famagogo. Peter is actually going to perform a minor surgery on my foot for me. About a week ago, I had a terrible run-in with a vicious gate. It slipped out of my hands when I was opening it to let the van go through, and it clipped my heel and left a really deep gouge. I ended up going to the urgent care and got 5 stitches, and now it's time to have those taken out. And we're not in a great place to get them taken out, so Peter's gonna do it for me today. And if you don't want to see the gory details, look away now. We'll tell you when it's safe. Hopefully that's good enough. Excellent. That wasn't so bad. Okay, that's the end of the gore. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, we got all 6 stitches out. The wound is looking good, and I think we are ready to rock. Thank you, Peter. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Well, good morning, Panama. Although it's kind of late morning. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm in a very noisy place. A place that looks a lot like a port. And I am in a port. We're in the port of Cologne. Today is shipping day. We are leaving Central America, North America. We are headed to South America. I couldn't be more excited, although it is a little stressful. Sending your home on wheels off on a ship out of your control, and we're probably not gonna see it for a week, maybe longer, I hope not. But we've done everything we can. The van has been completely overhauled in terms of where we've got all of our gear stowed. We've put everything away. We've taken our expensive stuff with us, and then we've hidden all the other stuff and put it in very hard to reach places and also locked away. So we're hoping that everything is there when the van gets to us in Colombia, and I'm sure it will. Other times we've shipped, we didn't have any issues. But you never know. And you hear these horror stories about Central and South America as far as things being stolen. We've done everything we can do, and hopefully everything will arrive just as we left it. I just want to show you going in our side door. We have our kayaks are basically inside the van, which makes it a little harder for anyone to be able to get in here and do anything. Our bed is raised pretty high as we can get it with Kathy's cabinets. Still got our pillows. Most of our cabinets now are virtually empty. All of our storage space, the front of the cab, everything is cleaned out and secured. All of our food is gone. We have our fuel down to less than 1/3 of a tank. Here's what the back looks like. My drawers are strapped shut. They also have a screw in them holding them shut, and the back doors are gonna lock. So there's no way for them to get in here because they aren't gonna have the key. All the doors will be locked with our Thunderbolt deadbolt locks, except the driver's door. So that's the only one they're gonna be able to get in and out of, and hopefully that makes it a little bit of a pain to dig around in our van. But we haven't heard of any bad experiences lately. Our shipping broker said they haven't had a problem in quite a while. So hopefully we're good to go. We're gonna let you know on the other end. You know it. George is here with us as well. He's done all the same things to his van, and he's ready to go as well. We have removed our license plates because we hear that those make awesome souvenirs for people. So we're taking those with us. And I don't know, what do you think, Kathy? Are we looking pretty?
Man, we are looking pretty, but I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit hectic and stressful here at the port. It's noisy, there are big trucks zooming around everywhere. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but our customs agent is gonna be here soon and walk us through everything, and hopefully it'll be smooth sailing from there.
Another cool thing is these couple right here with this Sprinter box van, they are from Germany. And they rode the ferry with us across from Baja to mainland Mexico. So it's pretty awesome that we're here on the same date. Our vehicles are gonna be on the same ship together, and that's really cool. And that's part of this trip, and being on any of these big overland style trips, is you meet a lot of cool people, and you tend to see them over and over because you're basically going on the same route with similar timing, and that's really cool. Look at all the fun places they've been.
Well, I've shipped to Europe and back once, and I shipped to North Africa, but this makes me really nervous. I'm not sure why. It's only a one-day trip, but I'm just very nervous about how this is going to play out. Wishing for the best. We've done everything we can, secured everything, and let's hope it all works out.
Yeah. It's quite a different feel. I mean, in Europe, it seems like there's more people that are going to speak your language. Here, it just kind of seems really impatient. I think all ports are pretty hectic, but there's a lot going on here. And with our lack of Spanish, it makes us hard to know maybe what's going on and if it's good things or bad things. But fingers crossed. We've got our agent, our broker, Boris, will be here in a second, and he's going to, I think, take good care of us.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I think here comes Boris. Fingers crossed, everybody. We're off. Well, we just did it. We dropped our vans off at the port. We went through a police inspection kind of 2 times. 2 different people came over. One guy checked our VINs. The other guy came by with a drug sniffing dog, ran the dog through our vans. And then after that, he went and put the dog away, and he came back and he wanted to go into cabinets, and he wanted me to unload my kayak and look in it. And I feel like it was a very safe, professional, and relatively easy, other than it was really hot and I did have to move a lot of stuff around. But I felt good about it, and it makes me have confidence in this port that they're going to take good care of our beloved van, and that Jorge and I both are going to have a well cared for Revel vans when they make it to the other side in Colombia. Now, the only question is, when will we see it in Colombia? We're thinking it'll be about a week from now, but I don't know, anything can happen. We have the ship tracker information. We'll know when the ship comes to the port. Should be in the next 3 days. And then when it leaves the port, and then we'll know again when it arrives in Cartagena, Colombia. And then it'll take them a couple days to unload from there. And then hopefully we'll get a call saying, come and pick up these awesome Revel vans. So we're gonna go hang out here for a couple of days, still in Panama. And then, well, you guys just have to wait and see where we end up next. The adventure continues, I'll just put it that way.